Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, that's right. It's Monday. COMMS by COOBS. We're back again. The start of another week of, no doubt, totally epic battles across every series that's going to happen this week. And yeah, Mondays, the last 2 weeks have been very eventful with these GT3 and GT4 cars all blasting around track, and today is going to be equally as hard fought and well, I wouldn't say incident strewn, but I'm sure there's going to be lots going on. So sound check complete, we are live, all good. So yeah, we know this is a short championship series, only a 4-race series. This is race 3. We're at Misano this evening, and yes, you can see it's quite dark. So the powers that be obviously decided our chaps were having far too much fun in the daylight and wanted to throw a little curveball in there, which is totally fine. I mean, I've got my glasses on. Hopefully I'll be able to see everything. Couple in at the moment. Good evening, whoever's watching. Say hello as always. We are currently in free practice. We have a 24 degrees ambient temperature and 24 degrees on track currently. We have fast conditions, so obviously that will continue to evolve as we go through the end of free practice into qualifying and then the race proper. So race format for this evening, if anybody is new or is just catching the stream for the first time and wondering what we do, how we do things at FRL, there will be a 20-minute qualifying session, 10 minutes for the GT4 class and then 10 minutes for the GT3 class to set the grid, and then we'll have a full 60-minute race. Excuse me, one mandatory stop as always, and yeah, it's got to be crazy, no doubt. JR's in already. Hello JR. Always, I gotta love JR. He always turns up on the streams. He's always supporting the boys in Run DJC, so obviously he's rooting for Marty and Ben this evening as always. I'm sure Ben is hoping that he does quite well tonight because well, he's had 2 wins in a row so far, and he can really kind of consolidate that position at the top of the championship if he can deliver the goods again this evening. We will obviously run through all of the stats in a moment so that everyone knows where we're at. And the GT4 battle, well, as always, that's quite interesting, and you will see there, if you have a look on the left hand side of the screen, so where we've got the little blue tag, yeah, just by the bottom of the number, that indicates it's a GT4 car. And you can see Crazy's at the moment is the quickest of the GT4s, followed fairly closely behind by Michael Races. Not to give anything away, but in terms of the standings at the moment, there is one solitary point that separates those two. Juicy. And Marty Road Racing and Drifter are both exceptionally quick in the GT4s as well, so that isn't done and dusted by any means. Also, I'd like to say we've got some new drivers, new faces in here tonight, which is always brilliant. I love seeing that. BRG Wanted Dexter is in. Haven't had the pleasure of commentating on him. Pony Feeder's in, joining for the rest of the season. He's going to join Kino. So welcome back, Luke. Have fun. And in terms of who else did I see that hasn't been in with us before, BRG Stereotypy is also new to us as well. Again, so brilliant. Enjoy yourselves, guys. You know, first race with us. I'm sure it'll be an eye-opener to a degree. Obviously coming through from another league, but it's all good. And that individual is brave, because you can see he's driving the Maserati in the GT4 category, which we all know shouldn't really be a car. But if he can have that mastered, I doff my cap, sir. No problem. Romario's also first race with us this evening in the number 8 Bentley. That's going to not please Will Friedman, but you know, number 8 can be borrowed this evening. And then the rest of the names you will all recognise when I run through those stats in a moment. So, if anyone hasn't raced at Misano, obviously there's a little track map down there on the bottom right hand corner of your screen. You can have a look at the layout. Again, you'll see colour codings. Obviously the dark blues are the GT4s. The other colours are going to be GT3s, either on a warm-up or a timed lap, shall we say. Alright, so that should get everyone up to speed on how things are going to work this evening. We will do a full track guide, full lap guide, as we do every time we're live. That will happen in qualifying. Again, we do that when the track's evolved fully and we've got some of the quicker guys out. So, gives you a good overview of what's going to happen this evening. Okay, let's have a look at those team standings. Just let's get that one out of the way. So in terms of we won't do teams first, we'll do individuals. So on the GT3 drivers, currently Ben Milden is leading the championship with 80 points from 80 in first place. Behind him is Jetpacker in the Porsche on 71 points. Jetpacker's always one to watch out for. He's been extremely quick in both races and just hasn't had that slight rub of the green in both races, to be fair, so I'm sure he wants to put that right this evening. AMS is currently in third place in his BMW on 68 points. Kino DJ fourth in the Ferrari on 59 points. Then we've got Goofy, who's in fifth place. He's in an Aston on 51 points. Yvolton is sixth. Don't know. Can you bribe people for results in? No. I'm only joking. Chris should be sixth. He's doing extremely well in his Bentley on 47 points. King of the Hills is 7th in the Lambo on 44 points. Then we've got Ash is 8th in his Beamer on 44 points also. Pokley is 9th in the McLaren on 39 points. And we've got Tooney on 34 points. He's also in a McLaren in 10th place. Steph is 11th on 33 points in the Audi. Clarkey is 12th in the AMG on 30 points. Venom is 13th also on 30 points. And then we've got Two Shot for You in the AMG, 28 points. Ben Gallagher, 24 points. I know Ben's going to want to have a decent run tonight. Drew Bulgon is 16th on 22 points in the Lambo. Then we've got Law 226 is 17th on 16 points in the Aston. Daz Parker in his Bentleys on 15 points in 18th place. And then we've got Drew the Great, 14 points. And obviously Pony Feeder is bringing up the rear in the GT3 class. Obviously hasn't raced yet, 0 points. Only ways up, no doubt. Right, GT4 drivers. In first place is Michael Races on 79 points in the Porsche. Second place, as I've always mentioned, is Crazies on 78 points in his Beamer. Marty Road Racing is third on 66 points in his Beamer. Andy Cray is fourth in the little Ginetta, tied on 66 points. And then SJ Disco, also in a Ginetta, is fifth on 62 points. Drifter in his KTM's on 61 points, currently in sixth place. And then Palermo in the Audis on 56 points, seventh place. Cascanova is eighth in his Aston on 50 points, and then Bruges is currently 9th on 32. So you can see, I mean, obviously it is a short championship, but there's not a massive amount to choose between everyone in terms of points. Teams, so Rush Hour are currently leading in the Beamers on 190 points. Then we've got Atalia Racing, I think that's AMG and Beamer, 170 points in second. Team Fanny Tech, like that team. They're in third place. Porsche and Astons respectively on 165 points. Majestic Motorsport, Ferrari and Porsche 138. What a beautiful name for those boys in fourth. Stay Frosty is fifth. McLaren Ginetta on 135 points. Then we've got Redeem Motorsport, which is the Bentley and Ginetta, on 128 and sixth. ABS Racing are in seventh. Looks like an Aston and KTM on 128. 7-Eleven in the Audis on 103 points, and then Be Like Sonic Motorsport are on 84 points. And then we've got the Moist Mercs are currently 10th. They obviously like it from the back. Yeah, questionable whether I can say that or not. There we go. So Kino's in. Evening Coops, hi Claire. Yeah, hello everybody. Julian Smith, Evening Coops, Goofy here. Gutted I couldn't make it tonight. Defo be back next Monday. Well, Julian, yeah, I'm gutted as well, mate. You've been having a pretty good run recently. I'm sure you will be back next week. You know what to do, mate. Just get back involved. Is it because of work or personal? Well, don't have to tell me, obviously. And Claire's in. Good evening, Mr. Keane. Kissing. And hello, Coops. We'll let Kino have that. Obviously. Good to see everybody. Welcome. Chat amongst yourselves, obviously. 4 minutes 30 left of this free practice qualifying session. As you can see, we are currently still sat in the pits. We're going to come out of that now. Jetpack is leading the way with a 134.983. Not too shabby, considering he probably can't see. And then Ben Gallagher, I did say he's going to want to have a good race. To be fair, last week he didn't have a great race, but then he raced again, I think on Taco. I think it was Tacos he raced again, and he had a very good race. And Ben is quick, but then obviously Ben Milden is quick. Let's go on board with Ben, championship leader. Let's see what he's up to. He's half a second off the pace at the moment. Not too bad, you can see. With all those other cars around, there'll be loads of lights. No problem. No problem at all. Good. That's all good news. In terms of who is and isn't in tonight, so Ash is in, King of the Hills, Ams, 2 shots for you, Keno, Law, Steph, Ben Gallagher, Drew Bug, Drew the Great, Redeemer Daz, Mario, Ben Milden, Jetpacker, Ponyfinger. In terms of who can't make it, obviously Goofy's just said that, Evolton can't make it tonight, Tarek's not in, and Clarky's not with us either. GT4's, Drifter's in, Michael's in, Bruges is in, Palomodge is in, Marty's in, Crazies, SJ Disco, Andy and Cascanova, so you pretty much got a full grid out of GT4s. And people stepping in tonight, as we said before, so Romario's in, Shays is in, Shigs, and Wanted Dexter, and obviously Stereotypy. So those guys are all standing in this evening, so let's hope they have a good race. And obviously we hope to see the other guys back next week as well. Just so you know how popular this little short Mixed Monday series is, we've still got 1, 2, 3, so there's still four people that are on a wait list, which is great, because on PC no one goes anywhere near the GT4s. I have no idea why. We always like to do a mixed Monday series, and it's extremely popular because there's always a lot of stuff going on. It's always very action packed, so we can see some lights going in the wrong direction over there. Don't know who that is, but yeah, it's all good. So 2 minutes left of this free practice session, and then we'll go into our 20 minutes for qualifying. GT3s and GT4s, remember. Admin, okay. Obviously I'm skiving the FRL admin meeting this evening, because bringing this to you guys is much more important than listening to them all talking about spreadsheets. Although spreadsheets are very important, because, I mean, where else would you spread your sheets? Ben's in. Here we go. Ben starting. Ben Milden, everyone is in the live chat. Evening, Ben. Hope you're well, mate. And Ben says, I hate this track. Yep, that's no doubt why you'll probably win again then. Hey, how are you getting on with the Merc now, though, mate? You've been in there for a little while. Is that feeling a little more like home, or are you still struggling with those 2 wins? Right, let's have a little bit of coffee, because last week I didn't have any coffee. Traction's in. Hello, Traction, or should I say, ta-da! For those of you that don't know what I mean, Traction Dave has also joined on the PC side, and I had the pleasure of doing comms on Friday on the PC. If you haven't checked that out, please do. I spent about 65 hours just trying to work out how to use OBS and stream decks and putting overlays together, but it wasn't too bad, I don't think. But let's see. No doubt Traction will keep us all busy. And Dow's not in yet on the live chat, which means nobody's abusing me. Phew. Oh yeah, this isn't the FRL coffee delivery device, as the keen-eyed people amongst you will have noticed. It's in the dishwasher. But yeah, I know that saddens everyone. And Michael says the Porsche can't cope with the BMWs. We'll find out. We will find out, won't we? And I'm sure your Porsche is plenty quick enough, mate. Let's see if any real change in that. Yeah, definitely the Porsche can't keep up with it because it's an hour ahead. It's Monday. I've had a really long day with the kids today. I am feeling a little bit more sarcastic than usual. So good luck, everyone. No, I am joking. Right, AMS is out. Let's get a little bit of action before we pop into qualifying. As we can see, we've got some braking boards all over the track there. Keno's busy chatting away to Traction. Come on, Keno, you should be out there. 7/10. So, Jetpack is setting the pace still. That time hasn't changed. Ben is still second. I'm going to call him Gallagher, and I'll call Milden. Yeah, sometimes, especially when I say I like you. Yeah. Pony's in 4th place. Keno's in 5th. I bet Keno's really glad he asked his mate to come join him now tonight. And then we've got BRG Wanted Dexter in 6th place, AMS in 7th, Venom's currently 8th, and everybody else was in there. Right, so we move into qualifying. Oh yeah, don't press drive. Again, I have to say this. I know I say this every single time I do the live stream, but I do apologise. This isn't the preferred view. This is what I... That's not very nice, Michael. Michael Races is threatening me with unsubscription and disliking techniques. Well, that's just fine, mate. That's just fine. No, don't do it. On that subject, before we get into qualifying, see, I'm not in the... I'm in it. Anyway, on the subject of that, before we get into qualifying, I'd just like to say thank you, actually, to everybody, because I hit 150 subs the other day, and I never actually thought I'd even get to 50. So, thank you, everybody. That does mean a lot. Just keep liking and keep subbing, please. That's what we need to do now. So, who have we got out and about at the moment? 115, so Pony's out. Right, so obviously our GT3 comrades are out. They get the first 10 minutes, and then the GT4s will go out. Now again, people might not know this, but in the GT4 you are allowed to actually leave your pit box and go and wait at the end of the pit lane. Obviously you can't cross the actual pit line before the 10 minutes goes. If that's a bit naughty, you probably get kicked out, but you know, so people aren't losing time sitting there going, oh, I better press drive now and get out. Right, 6 in at the moment. Good evening, everybody. If you've just come in, GT Jamie, oh, he's supporting Keno. Come on, Keno. Keno's got a little fan club in tonight, because I know Michael Races actually loves Keno as well. And Traction. It's the Keen team. That's what it is. Scazzetti's in. Hello, Scazzetti. Hope you're well. Good. We've got 8 in at the moment. So, evening. We've just dipped into qualifying. Obviously, we do have a 20-minute qualifying session. This is the 10 minutes that we shall have with the GT3 cars. As you can see, we're at Misano. It's pretty dark, and that's not going to change anytime soon. Track temps have actually gone up by a degree, so rather warm night in Italy, no doubt. We're just watching. We're on board a pony feeder at the moment, and we've got someone who doesn't like that part of the track, and that's a Porsche. Is that Drew? No, it wasn't Drew. Was it Jet? Well, it could have been. Who knows? Could have been. Right, anyway, back aboard a pony. So, lap guide incoming, just so that you were warned. Go on, Keno. Another one. I'm not going to give him any airtime tonight. No, I will, I promise. Right, there's Pony. He's coming round the back section of the track, which is the really quick right-handers. Got to be brave through here. I think, you know, first time that you've ever been to Misano, this part of the track can actually seem quite daunting, but it's not. It's actually really good fun, because he thought he'd join the club. Good, that's it. Safety in numbers, that's what I say. That's all good, mate. Right. So Pony comes round the penultimate corner. So he's got to set himself up nicely now on the start-finish straight. Get on that throttle early, as he does. Okay, so down the start-finish straight, first corner, it's quite complex first couple of corners. You want to be really left, you want to take that curve there on the brakes down into third. Well, I'd keep that in third and then drop it into second. He might drop that into first now. Cut as much of that curve as you can. Early up change, really slice that curve on the right-hand side. Drift over to the left, and then when the curbing ends, and there's your 50 board, really hard on the brakes. You've got to trail all the way in. We've got a double right-hander here, so little squirt of throttle, up change, then we're back on the throttle again. We hopefully should be full throttle through the left-hander, although that's not always possible, depends how hard you're pushing and if you get your line right. And then we've got this nice little straight all the way down here, so we're looking sort of between the 50 and the 100 board, again hard on the brakes. It's gone really deep in there, unfortunately, so you really wanted to be cutting tight and taking that curve on the left-hand side. See if we can rescue this lap. So on the brakes again, down into second, trailer in. Don't think those tyre pressures are good for him at the moment. It's probably maybe flat spotted or scrubbed a little bit. So I'm not gonna watch you anymore. That's what I'm gonna say to that. Right, King of the Hills in the Lambo, the 888 Lambo. King of the Hills, I think he's races with us almost as much as Mr. Gedman. I think he actually does a lot of racing with us, and has been with FRL for a hell of a long time. Good teammates, King of the Hills. Good lad, actually. Very good at comms as well. Him and Lurches used to do some good comms, and I miss their voices. sounds better than mine, put it that way. Right, so Ponyfield is currently top with a 1:35.6. That isn't going to stay. AMS is second, 0.3 back. And we're on board with King of the Hills at the moment, 1.1 off the pace. Ben Milden is in fourth, 1.3 off the pace. And then Drew Bug is fifth, 1.4. Romario is in sixth. That's just gone down to seventh because the man of the moment goes provisional pole and pips his teammate by 9 thousandths. Well done, Kino. Great lap. Great lap. Drew Bug's 8th, Mario is 9th, so as you can see we've got 4 minutes left of this session. We're now got an opti track as King of the Hills gets way, well, a little bit loose there, shall we say, probably carrying a little bit too much speed. You know, at that part of the track you've got to be brave, you've got to absolutely nail it, but things that, well, as I said to my children and everyone in FRL actually, you know, actions have consequences. You know, take too much speed in, potential wrong line, wrong braking point, not getting on the throttle properly for the next corner, losing speed down the straights. There's a million things. I don't say that to the kids because they wouldn't know what I'm talking about. Anyway, Kino's night's just been potentially ruined by 30 thousandths of a second because Jetpacker in his Porsche is doing what he does and what he has done for this entire championship so far, and he's stuck that on provisional pole with a 35.562. Good time, Jetpacker, as usual. So Kino, I'm sure he wants that back. He's actually been a little bit of a monster during this championship. He's been at it, and I mean, really at it from day one. All the way from, you know, probably should have had a win in the first race with those incidents with Clarkey and that, and all the teamwork, and then was unlucky last week. So Kino does improve, goes quicker than Jetpacker, but Ponyfeeder, he improves even more. So we're on the cusp of breaking into the 34s. So let's have a look at Wanted Dexter in 4th place in the number 7 Ferrari, 7 tenths off at the moment. Obviously first time with us this evening, no doubt 100% this guy can drive, poor girl, obviously. As you generally find, you know, a lot of the people that do join us at the moment are sort of top echelon drivers from other leagues, and then they come over to FRL. Obviously we are very popular, as we should be, we're massive, and I would be biased, but I think we do it the best. I think we are the best out there for what we do, and a lot of drivers do come across that are doing very well in their specific leagues, and they find it tough going. They do find it tough going. I don't think I've actually seen anyone just walk in and from another league walk in and just dominate. I haven't seen that. The standard of driving is high, which is great and clean. Gazzetti agrees. Best league. That's it. Best league in the world on Tinternet. Right, as we're seeing Wanted Dexter, see if he can improve on that lap time. Jetpacker, he improves. So obviously we do have an opti track now. We've got all these chaps going round and round, so they are laying rubber down. A little bit greedy there, 2 metre sausage curve, and that no doubt will have invalidated that lap. I can't see that one being valid. If I had other camera views, I'd love to show you that, but I don't. So if you do want to see a half decent comm session with relevant information that you can see and action, then obviously make sure you watch me doing the FRL comms on a Friday as well, because there's so much information on that, it's mind-boggling to be fair. So Pony is still Pony's provisional at the moment, Jetpacker's second, Kino's third, Shez, nice work from you, currently in 4th. We're on board with Wanted Dexter at the moment, he's 5th. He's looking to get a decent lap in, as this will be the final one. As you can see just above my head it says 10:40 something. That will change when we get into the race so you can actually see the time. Ams is 6th, King of the Hill 7th, Laura's in 8th in the pits, so he's not doing any more. Milden's in the pits, he's not doing any more, maybe he doesn't like the track. Drewbug is 10th, Venom is 11th, still out. Ash is 12th, don't think he's going to be too happy with that. Ash has normally got really good pace. Dazza Snipes on Tinternet. My Bradford ears just perked up. Good, I'm pleased to hear that, well done. I try and cater for everybody except the Geordies, because Michael and Traction. Anyway, so Romario's 13th, and then we've got Shigs. So we are just finishing that session. Look at that, Ponyfeeder's got within 12 thousandths. We're just going to tick under. So the GT4s in a couple of seconds. There you go, we've ticked to 9 minutes now, so you should see in the map at the bottom, you're going to see a few more cars starting to come out. The GT4s are going to be on the way at the moment. So Pony Feeder, he's not going to get provisional, he's gone into the pit, so second place would do for him. And there you go, Wanted Dexter has been trying for a couple of laps. That was an excellent improvement, puts that back up to third, 87 thousandths off. Aquino's only a tenth behind, Ben's only 2 tenths behind, AMS is 3, so that looks like it could be pretty juicy at the start. I'm just going to keep an eye on that for a second, see if anything changes before we move over. Just check my KTM's lights, literally 2 candles. Drifter, I'm going to be on there in a second, mate. There's one of the things I've been very interested in to see, and who's that just going out? That better not be a GT3 car. Where's 2 shots? He likes to have an extra quali session. RSR Cooper hasn't set a lap time in that 101 Ferrari, probably because, well, you know, the field would be just decimated. Right, GT4, so nothing's changed there. Actually, it has changed. AMS actually managed to pip Wanted Dexter to third place there, excuse me, so that's dropped everyone back a little bit. Let's get on board GT4. So let's have a look at all the lights first. Let's check that one out, seeing as Drifter's just mentioned it in the live chat. Well, GT4s, I think they said they don't have lights. I think that was what is in the small print. You know, when you buy one of their race cars, any GT4 race car, it says, you know, warning, don't drive at night, as you can see. So Drifter's going to be using everybody else to light up the track. Poor guy. Michael, yeah, he could see a bit better. Disco in the Ginny, it's not much better, is it? So I'd have to say the Beamer, I think, wow, they're all pretty pants, if I'm honest with you. This is going to be a very interesting challenge. I think everyone needs to go in. I know you can't really, oh, you can now on the PS5. Change your POV, yeah, and just like move yourself. Is the race? No, the race is at night, Daz. It's a night race, so everyone's going to be challenged nicely, I think. Who are we on board with? So they're all just coming around. So we'll stick on board. Let's go on to Drifter. So Drifter crosses the line. This, I assume, is going to be his first quick lap. Let's see how he goes around this lap. And again, if we were able to access all the normal camera views, which again, until they've fixed the bug on the PS5, we can't, because I can't come out of this view at all, otherwise I'll be in my car in the pits. We would be able to see all the driver inputs, we'll be able to see the gears that they're in and all those great things, which you might be thinking, well, so I don't really care about that. Well, you should, because you can learn a lot from drivers when you're watching. You can see how they're braking. Are they trail braking? Are they on off? Are they doing a little dance? Are they balancing the car? But also on the GT4 side, obviously they're normally in a gear slightly higher in the next one up. So if it's a first gear corner, they're normally in second. Because the real key with the GT4s is not to lose that momentum, because obviously they take longer to get that speed up, get that momentum running. So the key is to try and keep that moving as long as possible. So we'll see. So Marty set a time, Michael's currently set a time as well. I can't give you exactly what those times are, but what we can do is actually see where they stack out amongst their own little group. How can you even see? I have no idea. Yes, Dazza, yes, 100% mate. I can't wait. PS4, when we do the Sunday stuff on a PS4 and everyone amalgamates together, it's great because I've got exterior, interior, I can do what I normally do. But I have been sat here on the PS5 in this view well, since the update. So it's been a lot of races. And I didn't just mean to say a lot of races. I wasn't doing a Cilla Black tribute there. I just said it twice by accident. Right, so GT4 class, currently Michael Races is quickest, 2.5 tenths behind him is Drifter with his I can't see livery thing. Marty Road Racing is third, and he's 6 tenths further back. Then another 8 tenths for Marty's SJ Disco in the Ginny, and then Palermo has just dropped a place because Cascanova's put a time in the Aston. Let's have a look at Cascanova, shall we? We haven't given Cascanova a huge amount of time over the last few weeks, just because there's been so much going on. And you'll see when we actually get into the race, the amount of action that there is in the race is phenomenal. It really is. I'm not going to use the E word until a bit later on. It is phenomenal because everyone's fighting. Then you've got the GT3s that are catching up to the GT4s, or if there's any incidents at the start or people are out of position, they've got to try and fight through GT4s. It's brilliant. And we've got some massively quick GT3 drivers in the GT4s. So that just spices things up even more. So I am looking forward to this evening. Michael's currently on pole in terms of class. Drifter's second, Marty's third, Disco's fourth. We're on with Cascanova at the moment. He's currently in 5th place. Quite a bit down though for what Michael's done. And then Palermage is 6th. Crazies, well, we'll keep an eye on Crazies. Remember, there's 1 point between him and Michael in the championship. Tense. No, not camping. I mean, like, it's tense between them two, obviously. Yeah, and if you're also new, you will all get to love, I hope, and enjoy those dad jokes when they do come out, because they do find a way of getting out. Right, what's Cascanova doing? Is he going to improve? We'll see the end of this lap, and then we'll pop on to Crazies and see what he can do. Right, the lap time done. Cascanova does improve. He goes above SJ Disco. Well done, mate. Crazies, right, what are you going to do? Are you going to set the gauntlet? What's going to happen here? Let's see how this works. We've got 11 watching at the moment. Good evening to you all. You join us. We're in the second part, near the end of the second part of qualifying. So the GT4s are out at the moment. The GT3s have all set their times. And we're on board with Crazies, who's currently second in the GT4 Championship, 1 point behind Michael Races, who's currently on pole in class. So we'll see what Crazies can do. 2 corners left to go. There we go. Exit the last corner. Absolutely floor it. Go for that start finish line. What we're going to do, Crazies? Where are you going to go? Crazies goes second. Beautiful. So 2 minutes 50 odd left. Can easily get another lap in if he's going to go for it on this one. I'm sure Michael's still out there. Let's go back on board with him now. So Michael's got himself about 3/10 in the bag over Crazies at the moment, but did say in the live chat earlier on, thank you Dazza, I really appreciate that, mate. I really appreciate that. Yeah, Michael was saying earlier on in the live chat that him and that Porsche don't have the race pace against the Beamer. So, you know, if they're starting alongside each other, it's going to be very interesting to see how they actually get on when they're in traffic, when they've got heavy fuel loads on, and what strategy they both decide to deploy during the race, because obviously there will be a pit window, but it's pretty much the entire race as a pit window. So what do they do? Again, all great to see. So we're on board with Michael. Crazies is second, Marty Road Racing is third. He's only a 10th and a bit behind Crazy, so that's pretty close. And then Drifter finds himself 3/10 further back from Marty. Andy Cray's decided to put a lap in his little Ginny. Well done. I like Andy Cray. Is another ever present with us. Seems to really enjoy the GT4s actually. So he's done a decent lap time. Then we've got Cascanova, SJ Disco, Palermage, and there we go, BRG Stereotypy, a debutant with us this evening. He's just put a lap time in. Are we backing off? We are. We're backing off. Michael's just trying to get himself a little bit of space. Still got time to get this extra lap in. Now he's going to floor it. So BRG Stereotypy. Well, I think we've got to have a look at him actually. We've got to have a look at this Maserati, haven't we really? Ben says he bottled it. Don't worry, man. There's going to be loads of incidents probably. Although tonight it probably won't be. Everyone will be driving that carefully because it's dark. We'll see what happens. Palermage finds himself 27th overall, and then I'm in the pits. 2 shots for you and Pokley, I believe, are serving qualifying bans this evening. We do have a point system, obviously, so any incidents that happen during the race, the stewards team will take a full look at that on that evening. People will provide footage and say what they think happened. You know, it's all very amicable. And then obviously penalty points are given out or not, yeah, depending on the outcome of the stewards. So. And when you reach 7 penalty points, I believe you have a qualifying ban for your next race, or you have to pay me loads of money, which they don't do. Which is a shame, really. Attractions giving Ben some stick in the live chat. Now, boys, we're all friends, kind of. So, I don't know what everyone's moaning about. Look at that; it looks like a nice, easy drive in that Maserati. qualifying's over, they can finish the laps that they're on. So who is still out on a lap? Right, Michael's still out on a lap, and Crazy's. Right, so Crazy's is not mine. Michael says, nah, I'm going to smash it in the wall. Give my mechanic something to do. So Crazy's, he's going to finish his lap. Is he going to pit Michael to pole or not? Let's find out. Let us find out. There we go, through the last corner on that throttle. Is he going to get him or not? Is he? Is he? Oh, no, he is going to get him, but he's not. Look at that, 8.496. They've both done the exact same lap time. I've never seen anyone share pole position before. Take a bow, Michael and Crazy's. It couldn't be closer. Literally 1 point between them and exactly the same qualifying time. Brilliant. Drifter's coming across to complete his lap. Mate, why don't you do and be 8.496 behind as well? Go on, do that and I'll give everyone £1 million. I don't have £1 million, but I'll pretend. Go. Come on, Drifter. No, Drifter's... Where did Drifter... So Drifter didn't improve in the end. Wowzer. Amazing. Okay, ladies and gents. How did you like that? Excuse me, I've got an itchy ear. That was very rude, wasn't it? How did you like that? I liked it a lot. So, there we go. Qualifying is complete. Jetpacker is on pole for the GT3s. 12 thousandths ahead of Pony Feeder. Then we've got AMS. He's going to start alongside Wanted Dexter. Great start from him within FRL. Keno's 5th. Gallagher is in 6th place. So these guys are only a 10th and 2 tenths down. Shez in the Beamer is going to start 7th alongside Drewbug in the Lambo. Then we've got Romario is in the Bentley. He's going to start in 9th alongside King of the Hills in the Lambo. Law 226 11th. Milden 12th. Bottled it. I mean, he said it. He said it, not me. Keno thinks that's pretty cool. Yeah, it is very cool. Daz Parker 13th. Venom's in 14th place. Ash is going to start from 15th. Won't be happy with that. Shig 16th. Steph's going to start 17th. Drew the Great 18th. And then we move on to the GT4s. Please, guys, have a look at that. Michael Races is going to start on pole position. Also on pole position is Crazy's, because they both did exactly the same time. Not 1,000th between them. Amazing. Marty Road Racing starts 2nd. There you go, Marty. And Drifter starts 3rd. That's what we'll say. Andy Cray starts in 4th place. Cascanova 5th. SJ Disco 6th. Stereotypy and that rather crazy Maserati... Don't know what possessed him. Starts 7th and then Plumage in 8th. I'm in the pits obviously because I'm commentating. 2 Shot for You and Pokeley in the GT3 cars. They will start right at the back because they were serving qualifying bans. Again, a little bit of extra spice thrown in there. You've got 2 GT3 cars starting at the back. Michael and Crazy's, are you on the same? Yeah, I know, guys. It's absolutely. If you all don't leave a like for the stream because you've just witnessed that and can watch it back and show your grandkids, you see what I'm saying. So we're just going to have a little wait. Everyone's going to compose themselves now. I'm sure Michael, Traction and Crazy's, if Crazy's is on the party chat within the FRL, I'm sure they're all going absolutely bonkers, and all the GT4 PS4 lads will be on that chat as well. They won't believe it either. I don't have kids, but I'll show the dogs. Yes. They might like my voice. They might start trying to sing with me or something. But yeah, show the kids, show the dogs, show the cats, show everyone. Just make sure they press like. I still can't get over that. And we have seen, actually, I'd say in the last 4 or 5 streams over the last couple of weeks, I have seen quite a few times people doing the same time. That is becoming more regular, and I think that's because we do share a lot of data within FRL. We've got the Patreon, so we've got all the setups on the app, which is only for us, that people can share with each other, and that goes down very well. So people are always helping each other out in practice, I should say as well. It's not a closed shop here. It's very much an open book. Everyone wants everyone else to do well, because at the end of the day, that does promote and deliver very close, very clean racing. So carry on doing it, boys. So 2 minutes 23 left. Again, everyone's just checking setups. The GT4 guys are probably trying to find some button on there on their steering wheel that gives them some more lighting, but that's not going to happen. So good luck with that, boys. I'm excited to see what happens here. Oh yeah, I forgot, I am on the grid, aren't I? Okay. I keep forgetting every week that I have to start on the grid and then not press drive and end up in the pits. I am drinking more coffee this evening than I normally do, obviously because two things. One, it's not cold yet, which is, well, if you watch the streams, you know normally when I go to drink some coffee it's stone cold, so why bother? And secondly, because I didn't drink any last week, and I got quite laggy towards the end, like a bad internet connection. So this evening I thought I'm going to keep myself fueled up, yeah. And you guys will all benefit from that at some stage when I break out into some kind of craziness, but see how we go. Let's see how we go. Actually, I need to mention the coffee, don't I? I haven't done that for about a week or so. If anybody watches regularly and you enjoy what happens here, and you think COMMS does a pretty good job, actually, you know, he evidently spends hours in the chats, looking at the stats, getting to know everyone, and you wish to not do a Patreon, haven't done that. Little donations is all good. If you want to do that, you can go on to buymeacoffee.com/comms by COMMS. And yeah, it's tiny little donations, but obviously that all goes towards helping the league, and obviously more kit, maybe in a year or two. I don't know. Scazzetti throws out a big good luck to everybody. Indeed, right, so we are under 30 seconds before we get into our formation lap. That was a big P, wasn't it? Salvatore, wanted Dexter. Good luck, friends. Okay, well, another new one in tonight. Good evening to you. Watch the race. They've done pretty well, actually. Wanted Dexter, excellent 4th place, and well, the other chap, I don't know why he picked the Maserati, but anyway, right, so warm-up lap on the way. Let's just watch the lights. Let's see if we can spot when the GT4s go by. Yeah, there you go, look. No, not yet. Oh, I heard a Ginny there. Yeah, look, those lights are pathetic. And then you've got the GT3s behind. Fabulous. Right, wanted Dexter, you're the guy. Seeing as we've got Salvatore is in watching at the moment, so we're going to give wanted Dexter a little bit more airtime at the start of this race. How nervous is he going to be? Well, evidently he'll be an experienced racer, so he's not going to be quivering with nerves, but when you're going into a new league and it's your first race, you probably want to do it right. Yeah, I know everyone wants to put a marker down, that's fine, but you probably want to do it right. But then throw in the blackness. It does add a little something extra. So an extra sweat donator to FRL this evening. Don't send it to me. No. Send it to Chris Gedman. That's his bag, definitely. Right, formation lap. So what we're doing, track temp. So they've only dropped by a degree. Ambience dropped by 1, as is the track. So 24s. So, you know, no complaints there in terms of how that's going to make the tyres behave, and we've still obviously got an optimum track. So there's no excuses really. Oh, steady on. We don't want to be driving through people. Again, if people are with us for the first time, I know there's loads of rules that we generally have, and they are good rules. Traction says good luck to everybody. Echo that. Mike says good luck as well, by the way. Mike actually says, anyone new that's watching tonight, give us a like, because he gets bored of listening to me 3 times a week minimum. So now, again, on the formation lap, it will be done single file and it isn't guided, and we get to this stage, obviously everyone's going to form up now, so they've had their opportunity. If they haven't got the tyres in the window, that's a bit tough at the moment. Let's hope that they have. So if they haven't overcooked those brakes either, especially in terms of turn 1 and 2 here, you're going to be on the brakes fairly hard. And there we go. 60 minutes, ladies and gents, of what I feel is going to be totally epic GT3 and GT4 racing. Everyone's now just paused, just waiting. You ready? I am. across the start finish line. Go. Okay, off we go. Round 3 of the Formula Racing League Mixed Monday series at Misano as we go into turn 1. That all seems pretty clean at the moment. No touch there. Okay, Wanted made sure he had to take slight evasive action there of those sausage curbs because AMS was taking his line, wasn't he? So these two are now in a straight fight down here into the double right-hander as Jetpacker and Ponyfeeder, they're off away at the moment. AMS keeps the inside line there, and Wanted Dexter has had to back out of that. That was the right thing to do. There was no way they were going too wide through there. The computer's having a brain fart as usual, so we'll come back to that in a second. As we stay on board with Wanted Dexter in this opening lap as he tries to put some more pressure on the back of AMS, Jetpacker and Ponyfeeder. Those two are trying to make a breakaway. Ben Gallagher, oh, where's Keno? Well, Keno's dropped a couple of places there, unfortunate. So Ben's not too far behind these guys, and that looks like Keno, so the computer hasn't caught itself up. Keno's decided he wants his place back, and he's putting a lot of pressure on Shez. As we come into the fast section, it's time to be brave, boys. He's going up the inside. He had to back out of there. That would have been very brave. Shez ended up he was pretty much holding on for dear life there. As you can see in front, Wanted Dexter is making a little move there. You saw him just get his nose out onto the back of AMS as we come up to the penultimate corner. So nice battles going on everywhere. Ben's not far behind. He's in a great position to pick up any pieces if these two do have a slight coming together. And then Shez is about 7 tenths further back with company. Keno's alongside him. No, Keno's dropped off a little bit there, so maybe had a little bit of a wobble, or maybe he's just backed out a little bit just to compose himself. Ben's had a good start. He's got himself up, I believe, from 12 to 8, so well done to you, Mr. Milden. Mario is in 9th place, as you can see. He's slowly getting left behind at the moment by those three in front. You saw some dust being kicked up there. And then Daz, well, Daz wants to try and make an impression, but goes way too deep there in his Bentley, and that means he's just lost a position. Well, he's got the inside line, so let's see how this one figures out. We've got more dust being kicked up in front. We've got someone slow in the track. Move, boys. Oh, my word, who's that sat in the track? Keno. That was Keno. So Keno's had an incident somewhere, ended up in the middle of the track. Again, if I had all the tools available to me, guys, I could do a replay and show you what happened, but I can't, and I apologise about that. That's not going to please Keno. Oh, Christ. Oh, my word. So he's obviously had a look at his track map to get across. He's got to try and limp that back to the pits. Shock him. We'll find out what happened later. Claire, Pony, somebody tell me what happened, please. Be good to know. So Daz now got himself up to 9th. King of the Hills 10th. Law. Let's see what Law's up to in his Aston. He's chasing down King of the Hills in the Lambos, only 3 and a bit tenths behind. And in terms of up top, Jetpack is leading, 3.5 tenths ahead of Ponyfeeder. They've then got themselves up 1.3 seconds back to AMS. And Wanted Dex is nearly 5 tenths back. Ben is just over 5 tenths further back. Shez is 1.5. Ben's just dropped another couple of tenths there. So some good pace from Wanted Dexter at the moment. I'm impressed with that. Ben's got himself up to 7th now. Let's see. Mr. Milden does like to... I've got to say, he's an extremely consistent driver. Extremely consistent. Not that the others aren't, because they are. But he does take part in the Endurance Fridays, which is a 2-hour endurance race. And I think he's been on the podium in each one so far. So he's obviously got that staying power, that muscle memory, maybe the calmness of mind. You know, I mean, he's probably swearing on his stream, I don't know, but let's see if he can just get into a rhythm. Yeah, try and build his way back through. So, where do we get to? So, Venom is 12th. Let's go through everybody at the moment. Then we've got Shigs, is 13th. Drew the Great's 14th. Then we've got Ash in 15th. And then GT4, so let's have a look at Ash as we're all going through the same corner. You can see on the mini-map at the bottom there, we've then got a gap back towards the GT4 guys. On the live chat, if anyone's got any information about what happened to Keno, please do let me know and I can share that. So, GT4s, you will remember Crazies and Mr. Michael Races find themselves together on track, and they were obviously exactly the same qualifying time for a joint pole position. They find themselves quite down the pecking order, so Drifter's out up front. I've got to turn my lights on. I've got 3 laps remaining, it says at the bottom there. I don't want to turn my lights on because I'm not in my car, so disqualify me. Just don't kick me out. So Drifter's leading at the moment, and we know Drifter is a beast in GT4s. So he is in GT3s, but especially GT4s. And then we've got Marty Road Racing who's second, so that is going to please JR if he's still watching. That these two guys are doing well. Crazy's is third in class, and Michael is 8 tenths behind him, fourth in class. Look at that. Caskanova's not far off the pace either. He's only 7 and a bit tenths behind Michael. So, you know, the two title leaders at the moment are together in third and fourth, but Marty and Drifter, they're not out of this title yet. You know, this is the third out of 4 races. It's very, very close on points, so we'll see what happens with that. Pokley's 21st, obviously he's coming through the pack, doing his qualifying ban and starting at the back of the grid, so he's trying to pick his way through the GT4s. And then we've got Stereotypy, the other new debutant this evening. You can't really have a new debutant, can you? I mean, you don't get an old one. So our debutant or new driver, or not old driver, is 22nd, and he's sure having a blast in that Maserati. Let's have a listen to her for a sec. She sounds just as angry as the Lexus, I have to say. Lexus, like, just, and sounds in a hurry. And then Andy's dropped down his Ginetta there, so he's 4 seconds off the pace. 2 Shots for You is still trying to come through the grid. Remember, 2 Shots also served a qualifying ban. I don't have 2 Shots. I mean, 2 Shots is really new. You know, I'm going to give the guy some good time here. Actually, 2 Shots is really new with us. Only been with us, I think this is his 3rd week, but he is game. I mean, he's got involved with every single race. I don't actually know if he's ever used ACC before, let alone understand the cars and the tracks. But he puts it in every race. He keeps it going. There's been a few mistakes. He's always chatting away to the admins, trying to say, okay, how do I improve this? What do I need to do? You know, he's up for a bit of driver coaching. We've got 2 coaches within FRL, and that's probably shouldn't lift off there. Maybe a bit of lift off oversteer, 2 Shots. There you go. There's your little bit of fame on there. So SJ Disco finds himself in the Ginetta. He's pitted already, so interesting. You can see now above my head, you can see the actual timing for the race now. So 52.5 minutes left to go. So SJ Disco's pitted early, as is Palermo, and well, obviously Kino, he had to pit, had no choice, but his only saving grace at the moment is that he would have got in and done that pit stop, and obviously done his tyres and fuel, whatever else he needed to do whilst repairing the car. So he's not out of the race. He's got to think there's still 52 minutes to go. Anything can happen. Get out there, be consistent, team points. Yeah, Pony Feeder's doing really well up top. Kino can get himself back up there, and I think this comes from previous seasons with us. You know, that might have caused someone to be like, no thank you very much, go forth and multiply, I'm not doing this anymore. Yeah, this evening, that's annoyed me, but he knows from previously that him and Luke were really close. Probably could have won a team championship, I feel, if they didn't have those few incidents, which is why I think he's back out there doing what he needs to do. Steph is in the pits. There we go, come on guys, you knew it was coming. Look at that beautiful 101 Ferrari. She's the bees. GT4s, nothing's changed there. We'll have a look at this one though, because oh no, we won't. Look at that. So Crazy's is coming round to the last corner, start finish straight, and there's Michael. So Michael's dropped time. Maybe Michael was right. Maybe in race trim she doesn't have the pace, which is going to hurt that championship. So I think, well, we'll see how that develops. It's a long race to go yet anyway. So up top, let's have a look at Jetpacker. We haven't been on board with Jetpacker yet. He's still leading this race. We're 10 minutes in. He's developed a 9/10 gap back to Pony Feeder, and Jetpacker is going to be desperate, and I mean it in the nicest possible way. He's going to be desperate to get a top step result tonight. He's warranted it all season. And if he gets any issues that aren't of his own making this evening, I think he's going to have to just give everyone a little DM and just say, has anyone, you know, put a spell on him or something like that, because he's having terrible luck for what his performances should be delivering. Or just about get away with that. Right, that'll be the last bit of coffee for the evening then, because that's not the right temperature. So AMS is in 3rd place. So Pony, we're on board of Pony now. You can see Jetpacker in front. Pony is 1.3 behind. So Jetpacker has pulled out 4/10 in the time that we've spent on board with him. So 4/10 doesn't sound like a lot, but we all know in terms of racing, 4/10 is a lot. You know, it's now 1.4 seconds rather than being under a second, and all the time, so you could just keep eking out those couple of attempts here, couple of attempts there, whilst being consistent. It really puts a lot of pressure on the other individual, because they might then, well, obviously they're keeping their eye on the times, and they'll be seeing that those times are changing, and then the mental shift can be, right, I've got to push. Does that mean that person starts to overdrive? And that's the beauty of some of the really skilled, and a lot of our really skilled drivers, is they have that mental capacity to close that off, almost like, whilst they're racing until something bad happens, they're emotionless. It is about being metronomic and making sure they're doing the same thing and getting the best out of the car every single lap, and that, you know, it's amazing to watch, it really is. So Pony's in 2nd, he's chasing him down, he's brought that down by a couple of attempts again, so maybe it was Pony that had a slight issue. AMS is in 3rd, 1.4 behind, we'll have a look at him in a moment, and then Wanted Dexter still holding his 4th place, so you can't really argue with that. He's 5.2 further down the road. Shez is 5th in the Beamer, 1.8, and he's got somebody all over him, so let's get involved with that. That's one. So Wanted Dexter's had an issue somewhere, so we've got 4th, 5th and 6th all together here as we're coming into the right-hander, the double right-hander. So it's all about who's going to get the right line through there, who's going to get the balance down to get on the throttle early, and that's not going to help Shez at all. He's trying to get on the throttle early, he's probably done that a little bit too early, got himself a little bit of oversteer, so that's obviously scrubbing a bit of speed and letting go of traction. So instead of gaining speed down that straight, he's going to be losing speed down that straight, although the punch on that Beamer, as I have said, if anybody hasn't watched, oh, Ben's gone around the outside, so Ben's trying all of his tricks, he's trying to make things difficult, he's trying to get Shez to become unsighted or take a slightly different line, and all of this, well, he's doing this, he's putting the pressure onto Shez, and Shez, well, he's putting the pressure onto Dexter, so 3-way fight here. Well, let's say 4-way fight, because the rather speedy Ben Gallagher has decided to take a shortcut. Go on. Oh, well howled. Well done, Ben. I'm saving that. That's going on my highlights list. Oh, looky do. So, back to it. Ben Gallagher was going to join them and make that an epic foursome. However, Shez takes way too much of that sausage curve and just bounces straight off the road. That gifts a wide open door for Mr. Milden, and he's not going to say no to that. So, Ben Milden moves himself up to 6th place, and Shez is not going to be too pleased about that, although he is still right on the back of him, so he's going to look to see if he can retake that position. AMS has decided to turn up the wick, and look at that. So AMS is now only, wow, a couple of attempts off the back of Pony Feeder. That one has been developing for a little while, but that, you know, it's not like there's been an accident there, because Pony Feeder is still, this is why, look at what's going on the mini-map. So we've now got, let's add in some slower GT4 cars to the darkness and the stress of these boys. We're nearly 15 minutes into the race. Steady. So Pony's taking his line through there and getting past that Janetta, and AMS wasn't sure which way he was going to go, and it was massively hard on the brakes there. That was good driving to avoid that. Anybody again who's new with us, let me just reiterate. You'll see the blue flags are indeed waving. Oh, you just never know. So the blue flags are indeed waving, and that obviously is a warning to the other drivers that there is a faster car coming up behind you. Yeah, it doesn't mean holy schmoly, get out of the way and throw it into the wall. It doesn't mean that. It's telling you there's a faster driver coming up behind you. The etiquette and the ruling within FRL is a very simple one. Yeah, if you're a GT4 car or a slower GT3 car and you're being blue flagged, hold your racing line. Don't jump out of the way. Hold your racing line, and then on the next available safe place, probably a straight, back off or move offline, and then let the other driver through. It's as simple as that. So everyone knows what they should be doing. That's 2 shots. 2 shots, those in the Merc. Come on, 2 shots. Don't get involved in any naughtiness. you've got to think now. Oops, you've got to think now. The the sensory overload these guys are having now. Not, oh, look at that! See, look at it. They're in traffic. They're in traffic, and that's allowed Pony to get right up on the back of Jetpacker. Jetpacker goes wide there, so Pony's got a really good run coming out of that. What's he going to do? Is he going to go for a switcheroo, or is he just going to... He's gone wide, so he's going to now bring it back in tight. Jetpacker's obviously going to have good acceleration off on that Porsche. As you can see, that saved him coming out of that corner there. So, at the close battle, so 1-1 Dexter's only 8 tenths behind, so Ben's got himself up to 4th, so he is slicing his way through, and obviously making light work of this traffic, so fair play to him. So Dexter's flashing away, he's just trying to let these GT4 guys know, listen, I'm here. Again, he may or may not know the rules. Obviously, I don't know if he's read those rules or not, being the first race for him, but... Oh, that's lift off oversteer, and that was always going to happen. You had 2 GT4 cars there, and wanted Dexter went to go through the middle of them, realised the one on the left-hand side, or realised there may be a little bit of a squeeze happening, going to happen, lifted off the accelerator slightly, and obviously in that position, at that part of the track, you are... Wow. You're at the mercy, wow, as Pony gets very, very close to the back end of Jetpacker. Remember, this is for the lead of the race. These two have been in a little class of their own, it has to be said. AMS was, well, he's not far behind them, is he, as you can see, but AMS was literally on their tail until we got into the start of the GT4 traffic, and then obviously got held up, which, hey, that's racing, that happens. Everyone else is going to end up being held up. Biggest mover so far this evening, which again will please JR if he's still watching, is Mr. Milden. He's gone 12 to 4th, and he's doing pretty well, as Pony again is at Michael, so Pony goes past Michael Races, and Jetpacker goes past, and Pony follows him through. Now, elsewhere down the grid, I know we've been concentrating on this one for a little bit of time, but it is a very good close race. Shez is within 8 tenths of Gallagher, who's got himself back up there, so again, I have said, Ben Gallagher has got extremely good pace. I think he's a top 3 guy waiting to happen. I've got no doubts about that from what I've seen of him, my conversations with him. He's a motivated individual, and he's overcoming some adversities so far this evening. He's got himself back up to 5th, so that's fantastic. Romario, I'm really impressed. I haven't seen Romario before, and he's running up in 7th place. I believe Romario is French, from what he was saying in Discord, so welcome to you. I'm sure Will Friedman will be in touch, a fellow compatriot there. Daz Parker's up to 8th. Daz Parker said to me at the start of the season, actually, and I believe it was caught live on a stream, so it is factually the law, that he was going to send me a free hoodie because I gave him a load of airtime, but he hasn't yet, so I've sent the boys round. I think Daz Parker deals with all the FRL merchandise, you know, cups, t-shirts, hoodies, jackets, caps, all those sort of things. So have a look at the website, formularacing.co.uk. You can find all the information there if you want any merch, or if you just want to have a nosy around the different series. That's where you need to do that. Venom's running 9th, King of the Hills, good run for you, my man. You're in the top 10 at the moment, probably going to be happy with that. Law's in 12th, then Drew the Great is currently... Sorry, Law's 11th, Drew the Great is 12th, Popey's got himself up to 13th. That's some good pace. Remember, he started from the back of the grid after his qualifying ban, and then into the GT4, so Drifter is still winning. Crazies has managed to put a move on Marty Road Racing there, as you can see, so, and he's only half a tenth behind the little blind KTM. I have no idea how this man can see. Look at it, there's just nothing at all, as you can see that. So Crazies is fancying a potential move, although Drifter's probably happy. No, he's not. He is getting a bit of extra light. Crazy's looking to take first place in the GT4 category. As you can see, Drifter's just maybe pushing a little bit too hard, or again, it might literally be just hindered in terms of the lack of sight. Marty's in 3rd, and then 3.6 seconds behind is Michael. So close. So if when that move gets completed that we're watching at the moment between Crazies and Drifter, Michael's going to find himself in 4th place with Crazies potentially then in 1st, and that will have big ramifications because they've been so close all season. Crazies makes a nice move. that double right-hander, but Drifter, he decides he's going to place that KTM nicely. Then we've got a straight drag race out of there down this straight. Crazies holds the inside line as we are going up to a left-hander, so you would assume... Oh, was that a little love tap there, boys? No, that was him getting out of the way. Who's that? Ben Milden, yeah, 111. So Ben comes by. Either there was a little door tap there, or Crazy's thought, oops, there he is, and moved himself over a little bit quicker. So Drifter drops down to second place. Mighty Road Racing's now catching these two up, thinking, well, I want to get involved in this. Right, come on, they're just there. And then Michael's quite a bit further back, so not enjoying that Porsche, evidently. 2 shots for you. Obviously his GT3 driver is doing well, he's got himself up to 18th. Wanted Dexter finds himself in 19th. We did see him have that issue with the 2 GT4 cars, lift off oversteer, and away she went at this part of the track. Quite a scary moment if it was in real life, or if he's got a really, really powerful DD1 or something like that. Definitely get a swapper on there. He's been into the pit, so he served his stop, which is good. Probably fixed his damage as well, so he now needs to just get on with it. Ash is behind him again. He has pitted as well, going for a longer stint in the second one. Cascanova is 21st overall. Stereotypy in the Maserati is still putting those laps in 22nd place. Shigs is in the pits. That needs fixing. That wing mirror needs fixing. Although you can just about see that awesome Ferrari in front there. Kino is still running, has pitted. Remember, Kino was fighting right at the front. I don't know what the issue was. We just saw him in the middle of the track. I think he'd stopped there for safety because he couldn't move, obviously, at that part of the track, and was obviously just eyes closed, praying that nobody collected him. However, no one was listening to those prayers this evening, and he did get collected in a big way. So he pitted early and got his damage fixed, which has also put him completely out of sync. He can now only hope that he can get some good clean laps in for the next 38 minutes and try and rescue something as and when the others do pit. Shigs is just coming out of the pits. SJ Disco in the Janettas pitted. Andy Crane, his Janettas also pitted in GT4s. Palermo just pitted, and then Steph is running last, 3 laps down, but Steph is still running. Steph, keep going. It's points. Think of the points. Think of the points. And that brings you up to date. Other close battles. So Pony's now 8 tenths down. Ben's 9.5 seconds back in 3rd place. Ben Gallagher's got himself up to 4th. Then we've got Shez. So who's pitted out of them? So Ams has ducked into the pits. Ams was 3rd, remember, right on the back of Jetpacker and Pony Feeder until the GT4 traffic got involved. So he's decided to pit. Mighty Road Racing has just got himself a drive-through track limit. Ouch for him. Happy days for Michael. That's all I'm going to say. So there's always other things that we have to think about when we're involved in this. So the 2 Bens find themselves fighting at the front. Ben Milden is there, and then Ben Gallagher is another 6 seconds further back. I'm impressed with Shez today. He's done really well, and this man Romario, as he's coming up to get involved with TK Drifter and Crazies, KTM and BMW. Yeah, just, I'm sure you know, Romario, you're not running that kind of pace being a newbie, but just, you know, they're going to be quite a bit slower. We don't want to be tagging anyone. They should keep out of the way now and let you by. So Drifter does the right thing. Crazy's going to take his line. Crazy's, you could see there, boy, the line Crazy's did take. He wasn't sure, was he? Crazy's was like, I'm going to take my line. Am I? Is he going to pile up the inside? I don't want to get into anything. So, I mean, who knows? Daz is still running 7, that's good, but Venom, okay, there we go. So, again, we've got a mix of classes all together. Remember, they're all running their own race, they're all competing with each other, but they've all now got to be very mindful that you've got other cars coming through that are quicker. You obviously don't want to be holding people up for too long, but you've also got to be very mindful. Yeah, Venom, he's not going to move off the line, mate. Venom. Is that taking control? Crazy has definitely gone off track there. As you can see, the lights has come back on. Again, I think, you know, everything is always a work in progress. Always a work in progress. So sometimes, Zorro, Forza Brigata. Yes, Forza Brigata. I totally agree. Good evening. I hope you're well. Thanks for watching. Let me know who you're supporting. Who are you supporting this evening? So as you say, oh, beautiful. That's it. That's it, Venom. Don't drive through the Ferrari. You know that. You know that. Right, GT4 is where are we at? So Crazies is still now running first, Drifter's second, and then Michael. So Michael's pitted. Michael's got himself into third place. Clever thinking here. He's decided to get his pit done now. Obviously, Marty Road Racing has got himself a drive-through, which he has done by the look of it. But he's still got to come in and do his pit stop. So Michael's thinking, I'll get my one out of the way now. We're about halfway through the race, get it done, knowing that Marty's got to come in and still do another stop. So he's hoping that's going to solidify third place for him, maybe get him out of the traffic that was building up, and hopefully he can start putting in some quick laps. You never know, he may then be able to challenge Crazies and Drifter towards the end of the race. I say maybe because it is a maybe. So Michael comes out the pits. Marty's still going round, but obviously he's just had a drive-through, so those tyres would have cooled off quite significantly. And Stereotypy is still putting the laps in. Although getting out of the way, that's probably a good move to get out of the way of that GT3 car, but yeah, still putting those laps in, and that Maserati. Don't know how he's going to do that for an hour. I'd just be getting frustrated with it as Jetpacker goes by. He's the leader of the race, so expect to see Pony Feeder shortly. Pony Feeder is now 2 seconds further back. So Pony Feeder does come through, ends up going wide. He took a very shallow line there, was obviously more concerned. He wanted to get that move done, so he lost a tiny little bit of time, but in the grand scheme of things, at least he can still see his prey. Milden is ninth. Milden's 9 seconds back in third place. Gallagher is 5.5 behind him. Got to be interested to see if that gap could come down between these two. I did say the other week that they're going to give me a hard time with the two Bens, because they're both really quick. Shez is still running 7th, Mario 8th, Daz is 9th, that's 7th. King of the Hills is 8th in the pits, getting his stop done. So Ams obviously was running in third place, pitted earlier than everyone else, and he's going to start hoping that his pace is going to be able to start picking off some of those other drivers currently. Drew the Great is 10th, and Pokley, good effort from Pokley, he's in 11th place at the moment. Remember, he started from the very back after his qualifying ban, so he's showing some good consistency in that McLaren. I've just waited for him to throw it off now. I've said something, but let's hope not. So King of the Hills completed his pit stop. He's on his way out of the pits. Pony Feeder, he decides, I'm pitting. I'm going to get some new tyres on and go for it. There's Jetpacker dispatches with one. We're coming up to another back marker. So Pony's in, and Shez had decided to come in and pit as well. So that was 227. It was 227. So that was Law. Okay, Law has pitted as well in his Aston. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. TK Drifter. So remember, in the GT4 class, Drifter was leading that class. Wow, okay, so Drifter was leading that class. Obviously those positions are all jumbled up at the moment. Drifter and Crazies were having a really good battle at the front. Actually, Crazies is still leading the class. And Drifter's obviously come in to do his pit stop, and he's obviously decided to do a tiny little bit of speeding in that pit lane, because he's got himself a stop-go 30, which is going to infuriate him. It's going to infuriate him. There's such fine margins. I know in any type of sport you've got fine margins, but especially in motorsport, you know, if he's gone 1 mile an hour over there and then got a stop-go 30, not only is he in the pits getting his pit stop done, yeah, which is great, but he's then got to come back in and sit there for the same amount of time. That's race done. So, you know, given his pace and stuff, he should be challenging. He should be challenging, and he is. But that might be curtains for the rest of the championship after that one. So Jetpacker pits from first place, Milden pits from third. So that means Ben Gallagher is now leading the race. I'm sure he's maybe going to try and go a bit long, but you can see he's got quite a few GT4s in front of him, which, if they're not on the ball, if they're not, you know, okay, I'm going to get out of the way in a safe place, that might end up holding him up. Traction says he feels for Drifter. I do, mate. I feel for him as well as he comes up to the back of Michael. I really feel for him. He's got great pace. Brings back bad memories, that. Are we talking about Friday, by any chance, Dave? Look at that, Daz Parker. Oh, that's it. Daz Parker finds himself in set. Daz wants to lead the race again, but he might not be able to because Romario in his Bentley is all over the back of him. There's only 7/10, and that is now closer than 7/10, no doubt. So there could be a challenge there between these two. Again, haven't pitted yet. Ben's just completing his pit stop and on his way out. Jet Packer is on his way out currently. Right, so pony feeder. Let's see. Wow. What can we see there, people? Pony Feeder's managed to jump Jetpacker in the pit stops. What an amazing job that is. So Jetpacker now, from being the guy up top, is now the hunter. Can Pony Feeder, I think he's got another lap under his belt in terms of having those tyres probably a bit more warmed up than Jetpacker. Can he be consistent now and show his true pace without actually trying to chase anyone down? We will see how that develops. It's currently half a second. Okay, so no tyre change in the event, did not change, yet not counted. Someone messed up the pit stop setup on the server. Oh, really? Didn't know that, Drifter. Maybe we'll have to have a look into that, my man. And Traction says, doesn't know what I'm talking about. Well, with a face, kind of a, you know, like he's just sat down on some kind of sharp object type face. Yes, I'm sure he does know what I'm talking about. He professed on Friday, he was having a good race on Friday in the PC, yeah, and he got a stop go, and he told everyone he didn't know what it was for, and I agree. It was definitely because of speeding in the pit lane. But there we go. So Ben Gallagher decides he's going to pit, so Daz Parker finds himself leading the race yet again. Who is that sat up there? Parked up there. I need to find out who that is. What is it? 7. Who's in the 7? Oh no, Wanted Dexter's just... wow. Well, I think Wanted's had an issue there. We've got a rather messy windscreen, and there was definitely a port. And that looks like, unless he's got disconnected, which given the damage he's got, that looks like a rage crit to me, which is unfortunate. So there'll be some points added in there on his first race, not the type of points that he wants. As my Discord starts popping off. Oh dear. That can only mean one thing. Anyway, so Daz Parker leads the race currently with 27 minutes to go. And no, don't pit. So I'm just... and he doesn't... oh, Daz. He decides to pit at the last minute. I've just got to follow him for a lap. And I'll hopefully get that free hoodie. But he's ruined that. I'm not going to sit in the pit. So Pony Feeder reclaims the lead of the race. Obviously he has completed his stop, so he's running to the end. Jetpacker, as you can see, is still only half a second behind him in second place. So I have a feeling, I mean, these two were pretty much this gap for the first half of the race. You know, if they wanted to have a peaceful one tonight, it's not going to happen. So their battle, I feel, is set to rage. AMS finds himself back into third place, as he was just before he pitted, but in terms of gap, what is he, 4.8 behind? Well, you know what, normally I'd say that's a pretty big gap, yeah, to those two in front, but we did see AMS in the first part of this race close that gap down of quite a similar margin pretty quickly, so we'll see how his beam is getting on as Pony pulls out an extra 10th on Jetpacker. So we'll keep an eye on those. Ben is in 4th place, having completed his stop. Ben Milden, that is. Ben Gallagher is in 5th place. He has also stopped. Drew the Great is currently running 6th, hasn't stopped yet, so I'm sure that won't be long in his Porsche. Daz is in the pits, just coming out at the moment. Daz, if you're watching the stream, that was the best pit stop I've ever seen in my life. Surely that one's worth a hoodie. No? Shez is in 8th, Romario 9th, so everyone's pitted at the moment. King of the Hills is still running 10th after completing his stop in the 888 Lambo. Well done, that's good. Let's keep that momentum going, mate. Venom's running in 11th place. Ash is 12th, and then Crazy's hasn't pitted yet. He's still leading the GT4 class, 13th overall, but he's got Pokley. Now, he's not really on him at the moment, is he? He's not too far behind. Pokley's closing up in the GT3 McLaren, so he's going to look to make a move soon, unless Crazy's pits, but look who finds himself in second place. All these little things that are going on, unfortunately for other drivers, as Law's got himself a drive-through in the 227 Aston, has meant that Crazy's and Michael have ended up 1 and 2 again. It's just like it's supposed to happen with these two. So we'll see. I mean, there is a gap. There is a fairly decent gap there between them. So he's coming into T1. Yeah, there is a fairly healthy gap between them. Kino finds himself in 16th, just going past Michael. So those two little teammates, majesticness, whatever they're called, they're letting each other by. So that's good driving by them. So Kino's still trying to get himself back up there. So where's Pokley? So Pokley's just coming through the double right-hander. Kino's just going into that. So Kino will probably fancy catching up with Pokley. I tell you what, if Kino can get himself into the top 10 this evening, that will be a absolutely brilliant comeback drive from where he was. 2 shots is in 17th, and he's still going. You can see he's still having trouble with that Merc, but he's not deterring him. He's still at it. And look, he's 17th. Yeah, so it just shows if you just keep at it, you don't have to be the quickest driver. You've just got to keep at it. I'm just going to change from that because Shares is now only 3/10 behind Daz. No, he's, wow, look at that. Okay, so move done, move complete. So Daz's tyres are obviously not fully up to speed. And Shares got that's move done. Wow, Drew's got a pit yet, so those two are going to move up a place. And then Venom's not too far behind King of the Hill, so that top 10 place is got to be under threat. It's only 6/10 currently, and they've got a really big gap back to Ash, which is 14.5 seconds just over. I have to have a chat with Ash afterwards. I know last week he was quite disappointed with his pace, because as I've said before, Ash is normally a solid top 8 driver, certainly on tacos, so it might be different. Maybe well, it's not a different car. Maybe it's just a different tracks on this particular series. Who knows? And Pokley, right? So there's Crazy. So Pokley's got past Crazies, and Kino is furiously trying to catch up. As you saw, definitely had a little bit of a wobble there. That was a correction for sure. So Michael and Crazy still haven't pitted yet. We're still waiting to see what these guys do. That's a big old gap. That gap's too big. 2 shots is still at it. Shigs is in 18th place in his Beamer. Cascanova in the GT4 Aston is 19th overall. Law's got his drive-through, so he's got to get that done at some point. Probably do it on this lap, no doubt. And then Marty Road Racing in the GT4 finds himself 4th in class. Stereotypy's 5th in class. Again, we've been saying, don't know how he's managing to keep. Look, I mean, look at that. Look at him soaring out that wheel to stop the back end stepping on him. I mean, I'm all for correcting, but that was like 12 corrections, which was needed. But fair play, Stereotypy. That was corrected perfectly. Andy Cray is then behind, only 6/10 behind in his Ginetta. I think this is actually a very good place to sit for a little while, so we can watch Andy in the Ginny, and we can also see just how that Maserati, well, I'd say is behaving or isn't behaving. SJ Disco is a little bit further down the road in his Ginetta. He's 24th overall, and then Palermo in the Audi is 25th. Steph in the GT3 Audi as Kino comes past. Again, just making his way through the field. So Jetpacker, wow, we missed that unfortunately, ladies and gents. Jetpacker somewhere has managed to take that lead back and has built a 1.5 second lead over Ponyfeeder. So remember, Ponyfeeder was 6 and a bit tenths ahead when we left them, and it all looked quite nice and stable. I wanted to bring you some information about everybody else. So either something's happened there, or Jetpacker's made a very good move. As we can see, Andy Cray is all over the back of Stereotypy as we go into the last corner. Again, nice close battle. I know the GT4s are slower, they are slower, but the fight in between them, it feels massively different. Obviously these cars aren't majorly aero dependent, so it's all about the mechanical grip and just getting on with it. Right, was that Law coming out the pits? Right, you just saw Law flying out the pits there. He's now got himself... So Law's just come in to do a drive-through, which is track limits. He's obviously come in and done that drive-through. Potentially that would have annoyed him. I get it. That would annoy me as well. And in his haste to get out of that pit lane and get back on with the race, he's now got himself a stop-go 30 for speeding in the pit lane. So his night has just gone from bad to, well, worse. Oh, I won't say the word I would normally use, I'll get kicked out of YouTube for that. King of the Hills, King of the Hills, look at that. Him and Venom, they're fighting over that 10th place. I did say last time we was on board that Venom was only 6 tenths behind King of the Hills and was putting him under a lot of pressure. It now appears that Venom's got that move done, and King of the Hills is trying to put the pressure back on to take that one back. So I'm sure he's going to be doing his damnedest to do that. He's not going to want to give that one up so easily. And Ash is obviously closing in on these guys. That was 14.5 seconds. It's now only just over 11. So Ash could come into play potentially for a top 10 finish. Well, we've got 19 minutes left. Anything can happen, as we know. Crazy still hasn't pitted. Pokley, he has come into the pits. I'm sure he had pitted already. Well, he's in the pits anyway. So Keno, no, Pokley's completely stopped. Keno moves himself up to 14th. He's got a long way to go, but he's just got to keep at it, as Crazies and Michael still have not pitted from the GT4 class. Remember those two, as Drew the Great comes in for his pit stop, as you can see. Remember, Michael and Crazies are 1 and 2 in the GT4 class, separated by a point. They qualified, both qualified on pole position. They were both 8.462, I believe. Exactly the same qualifying time, which is ridiculous. They're different cars, different fuels, different tyre pressures. There's so many variables, yet they had exactly the same time, and they find themselves in 1 and 2 in the race. Obviously there's a few things happened, Mighty Road Racing and Drifter. There's a couple of bits happened with those two in terms of drive-throughs and penalties, but they haven't pitted, so they're obviously just following each other's strategy, or I've got to try and do what the other one doesn't do. That's all they probably can do at this stage. So Daz Parker finds himself in 6th place, as second behind Shez, who's still in 5th. He's having a good race. So, oh, hold on a minute. No. What's happened there? Jetpacker. So Jetpacker got disconnected the other week, and as I have said, he's been having some really bad luck, and he's not in the server. So either he's disconnected or something's happened and he's rage quit as well. And we've already had a rage quit tonight with Wanted Dexter. So that is really unfortunate. I said he's not been getting any luck so far in this short Mixed Monday series. I'm going to assume the same thing's happened again this evening. So upshot of that is Pony Feeder is currently leading the race. Obviously he's been battling massively with Jetpacker for the entire race and through qualifying actually. So he finds himself leading the race. AMS is now up to second. He's under 4 seconds behind. So I think AMS is going to catch Pony Feeder. AMS has shown really good pace through this event so far. I can't see that slackening off. But hold on a moment, Mr. Milden is being currently held up by Ginny, but I'm sure he'll get rid of that on this straight. Ben's 5.5 seconds behind AMS, currently in 3rd place. Remember, Ben qualified, I think, 12th, if not a little bit lower, and was all over the live chat saying how much he'd bottled it, and everyone was giving him, jovial stick. It wasn't a bad thing. Everyone was having a little rib within the group, but look at him, he finds himself up to 3rd, so that's great. Ben Gallagher again is now in 4th place, had an issue, and was before that issue was right up there as well. So it is one of those sort of what ifs. Oh, no, don't turn in, Mr. Ginny, don't turn in. Whew, that was close. That was well avoided, I think. Shez 5th, Daz is in 6th place, keeping a close eye on Shez. Is that Crazies? Yep, 34 Beamer. So nobody wants to be taking Crazies out or Michael, because that's going to affect championships. Let's keep that in mind. As Romario is in 7th at the moment, Venom's 8th, King of the Hill is 9th. So by virtue of Jetpacker leaving the server, everyone has moved up a place, which is unfortunate. But hey, King of the Hills is now 9th. He was 11th. Ash is up to 10th. Drew is in 11th place. Let's see whereabouts Drew is on the track. So he's coming round towards the last two corners. Where's Keno? Right, so Keno is quite far back. Can he do that? Well, Crazy's got a pit, so Keno's going to end up 12th. Keno could maybe get 11th before the end of the race. Could do. As we have a look at Poakley. So he's just keeping a keen eye on what's going on in front. We've got another GT4 Ginetta there. And then Michael Races is running second in class in the GT4s as he gets himself out of the way of that Beamer, as he should. Shigs, well, it was Shigs that was taking him on actually, so Shigs is 15th, Michael 16th overall. Cascanova, he's having a great race today, Cascanova. He finds himself third in class. I'm sure he's going to be very happy with that. Two Shots is 18th, starting from the back of the grid with a qualifying ban, so not too bad a performance. Marty Road Racing is 4th in class, obviously should be higher but had an issue. Andy Craig's 5th in class, 20th overall in his Ginetta. BRG Stereotypy 6th in class, still doing really well actually, still doing really well in that Maserati. SJ Disco in his Ginetta, he's still running, 14 minutes left of the race, 22nd overall. And then Law, who, to be quite honest, I mean, I don't know what else could have gone wrong for this chap this evening. Got himself a drive-through for track limits, came in, served the drive-through, probably upshifted a smidge before that line or on the line, and then got himself a stop car 30 for speeding in the pit lane. So ruined his race. Palermo is running 24th and the last runner in the GT4s. And then Steph, fair play to you, Steph. Steph is still running 6 laps down and running last, but still going for it. And then obviously I'm amazing and in the pits because I'm doing COMMS. Crazies is in. Right, Crazies has just completed his stop. Michael's coming down now, so these two are going to come out together. Wow. They are going to come out together. Crazies gets on the accelerator. Michael's coming out. Look, there's Crazies. So Crazies stays in front of Michael at this stage, which is, well, that just says it all, doesn't it? So Crazies and Michael literally nose to tail on the track in the GT4 class, but Crazies has done his pit stop. I wouldn't even fight him. Don't even fight him. Let him go if it's getting too hot, because Michael's still got a pit. Poakley's in the pits. Again, that windscreen looks a little, I wouldn't say chipped, I think it's a little more than that, as Ponyfeeder continues to lead this race. He's extended that lead slightly on AMS, that's 4.2 seconds now. Milden's still third, 4.7 down the road, and then Gallagher is in 4th place, 8.3. Shez is in 5th, Daz Parker, well, there's a race that's going to develop, and this is a fantastic opportunity for these two to actually get a, well, you know, a top 10 finish in FRL isn't to be sniffed at. A top 5 finish, well done. I mean, really well done. So these two have got a really big opportunity here to get a big haul of points and see their name, well, with some pretty big names, as Daz decides he's going to start flashing. Shez is thinking, I could do with the extra light, please keep doing that. Yeah, everyone using tactics, that's all good. And Romario's still 7th, he's 6.3 down the road, so it doesn't look like he's really going to be challenging, unless of course these two start, oh no, that's a server issue. You just saw Shez just flew off the screen. I hope that's an, I'll reflect, yeah, Shez is gone, Shez is disconnected, you saw that. Just took to the underworld, that is unfortunate. So, all that flashing Daz Parker did blew up Shez's internet. Shocking. Daz finds himself in 5th. He's going to be happy with that. Romario now is up to 6th place. Venom's 7th. King of the Hills is 8th. And he's not out of it, is he? I mean, he's just, obviously someone's just gone past him. I think that was probably Ponyfeeder. King of the Hills is 8th. Ash is 9th. He's now only 5 seconds behind King of the Hills. 11 minutes to go. That's going to be doable. That is going to be doable. I think Ash could get himself back into the top 8. Drew's in 10th place, as you can see, coming into the double right-hander. And then we've got Keno, who's battling tooth and nail, just coming through T1 and T2. So he's not a million miles behind. Shigs is in 12th. Crazies is 13th, but leading, crucially, leading the GT4 class. Michael is under a second behind it, but has not completed his pit stop yet, so that's a false economy. And then we've got Caskanova's in third. Two Shots is 16th overall. Marty Road Racing's 4th in class. Andy Craig 5th. Stereotypy 6th. And then we've got Pokley is 20th place in his McLaren. SJ Disco, well, is that Michael? Yeah, okay, so it's a different lap, isn't it? So SJ Disco, let's have a look at here in his Ginetta. We haven't given SJ too much time this evening. I'm just going to pause and have a little drink. So we'll move the coffee out of the way because it's cold. So what is going through Michael's mind at the moment? So there's going to be a swing and a change of championship leader now going into the last race. As Palermo just got himself a drive-through, track limits there, that's unfortunate. With 9.5 minutes left to go. Anything looking like it's developing? Well, Ams has pulled a second back on Pony Feeder. That's 3.7. Ben's still about the same, he's 4.7. And then Mr. Gallagher is 7.6. So he's probably improved by half a second there. Daz and Romario, they're still holding station. Venom's doing really well in 7th. King of the Hill was 1.7 behind. So there's not really any hugely close battles at the moment. Everyone's got decent gaps. I think everyone's probably aware we are into the last 9 minutes. You don't want to be making massive mistakes at the moment because it will cost you, and there won't probably be enough time to get back and make that up. So SJ Disco, well, this is our closest battle. 2/10 all over the back of Stereotypy again in the 333 Maserati. Again, Stereotypy, it's his first race with us this evening, I believe. Came over with his teammate, Wanted Dexter, who was, you know what, really impressed with him actually. GT3's qualified 4th, was having a good race. Obviously had an issue between a couple of GT4s, although I wouldn't have said that was either of their fault. It was just a case of he had to react to the circumstances that were there at that particular moment in time, and obviously with that reaction and a slight lift sent that tail all the way right round, baby, round. Unfortunately, wow, I think there's a Beamer, a Bentley in a bit of a hurry there. Would certainly appear so. No change up top, so we don't need to worry about them. You just see the pace difference. I mean, you know, that Bentley came storming through, and then he's just like, I'm off, I'll see you later. As Palermo comes into the pits to serve that drive-through. Please don't rush out the pits and get yourself a stop-go. That would be really annoying. As one of our other drivers could have testified to. I was going to say 2 Shots is only... Oh, steady. Get back on board with this scrap. And I think there's a move being done. We've got a straight fight down. Right, Stereotypy's got the inside line though, although... Yeah, well... I was going to say he does have the inside line, but we do know that that car doesn't have any brakes, but he does manage to get it slowed in. And again, we've got a straight drag race down now towards the quick right-handers. SJ Disco, you can see he's really probably hoping he doesn't die right now. And Stereotypy, wow, they're still side by side. That Ginny's just carried a little bit more pace through, which has meant Stereotypy's he's had to back out of that slightly. He was probably waiting, obviously, to get a big reaction out of her, but then SJ Disco goes way too deep there into the right-hander, and that's allowed Stereotypy just to carry that pace through. Again, we were talking about that. Andre says, I was P5 and got disconnected. Is that Wanted Dexter, mate? Yeah? Is it? Let me know, Andre. I did see a disconnect, so let me know, mate. Mate, I was on the stream when that happened, Shez. I just saw the car just dip straight under the ground, so don't worry, there's, you know, I caught that. There's not going to be any questions or a rage quit for you there, mate, but I'm really gutted for you. I was just actually saying on the stream before that happened that you and Daz Parker were having a really good fight for a top 5 finish, which is, you know, would have been amazing. But yeah, that was really unfortunate. So stay with us till the end. Make sure you give us a like. Let's see how it gets on, mate. But I understand your frustration, without a doubt. Next week, buddy. And Stereotypy, the Maserati says, you cannot tame me, young sir. As we know, not many people can. So there we go, that's up in there. So let's go up the top. So there may be a slight challenge here. Pony Feeder's coming up to the back of what looks like crazies. 5 minutes left of this race. He's in traffic. He's going to be desperate for a victory. I mean, you know, it's his race 1 within Mixed Monday today. After coming in to join Keno, he's driven a great race, done a great qualifying session, but he now only finds himself 1.9 seconds ahead of AMS. So that gap has come down quite significantly, but only because, maybe because of the traffic. Who knows? I did say AMS has got very, very good pace in that Beamer. It's crazy. He jumps out the way in the GT4 Beamer to let him through. So that chase is on. We've got a 4.5 minute sprint for first and second place. That's going to be fun. Ben's doing a great job in third place, 4.5 seconds behind them. Gallagher is in fourth currently. Daz Parker is in fifth place. Sorry, Shares, you were in fifth place. It was a super nice fight, of course. Like I see, a good stream. Okay, good. I'm very happy to hear that, Shares. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Right, so any that have just joined us, we've got 6 in at the moment. You'll see in the last 4 minutes of this race, GT3s and GT4s mixed. We're currently on board with Pony Feeder, who is leading this race. As you can see, is massively involved with traffic. Track temp and ambient have both dropped a couple of degrees, and AMS, who's had a really solid race so far, is really coming at him, and I'm sure Pony Feeder will be aware he doesn't want to be losing too much time or being held up too much. But obviously the GT4 guys, they know what the rules are. The GT3 guys know what the rules are. They don't have to jump out the way, they just hold their race in line. It is up to the quicker GT3 car to find a safe way past or do something on the straight, as Pony Feeder's flashing furiously at the car in front. And who is that car in front? Well, else the Triple Eight is King of the Hills. So King of the Hills in the GT3 car, he does go wide. Oh, and AMS takes a lot of pace through there. AMS was coming through that gap, whether it was there or not. He was committed, and look at what that commitment has done. That's put him tenths, couple of tenths maximum behind Pony Feeder. So you've now got the Beamer in the hands of AMS, which is a very strong package indeed, against the Ferrari. We're going to have 2 laps left on this race, and there is still more traffic ahead, flashing galore. So this is getting very interesting. Ben Milden now finds himself only 4 seconds behind. You remember back to race 1, Ben nearly won that race just by being consistent and being there, and other individuals had an issue. Michael jumps out of the way, good move from you. Oh, and AMS again. AMS has gone really, really deep. Really deep. He's gone right round the outside. That's got to be track limits, potentially. So he is... he wants this win. Come on, guys. I told you at the start of this race, the GT3 and GT4 racing, because of all the different speed differentials in there, makes for epic racing. There we go, I said it. And we are getting more epic racing. Look at it. We've got under 2 minutes left of an hour race in the dark, and these two are separated by tenths. And now we've got other cars in the mix. Pony goes a little bit deep there and get on the throttle earlier though. He's got himself 3 tenths back. Ben's only 3.6 seconds behind. He's ready to pick anything up if it falls. And then Ben Gallagher's only 5.7 behind there. So obviously Ben's caught up in that bit of traffic currently at the moment. Daz is still in 5th, which is a great win by him. Romario 6th. Excuse me, my voice is going. That's all the singing I've been doing earlier in my studio. Venom's running in 7th. That's impressive. King of the Hills 8th. Lord Ash Wilson, aka Ash, is 9th as that Lexus jumps out the way. I think that was a good move, to be fair. You don't want to be getting involved in this. We're going to have a 1-lap sprint. Are you ready, ladies and gents? A 1-lap sprint. Drew's 10th. Keno's 11th. Let's have a quick... Keno is on the back of Crazy, so that's not going to happen. Right, a 1-lap sprint. Who's going to hold their nerve? Who is going to make a dive? If there's any dive bombs, we're going to catch them. We're right on board with this. We're not going anywhere. Remember, there will be certain parts of this track where AMS is quicker. Romario's got himself a drive-through right at the end there. He's not going to want that. And they certainly don't want traffic on this last lap. They do not need traffic. Let's get your acceleration points correct. And now it's a case of who is going to pick what line, what braking point I'm sure Pony's going to defend this on the inside as AMS. Pony, what are you doing? Defend! He's got it for the wider line so we can cut back in, which is obviously your normal racing line, but I wouldn't be leaving the door open any time soon, to be quite honest with you. Ash is only 7 tenths behind King of the Hills in the scrap for 8th place. Then we've got Kino 11th. Can't take my eyes off this one at the moment. Shigs is 12th. Crazies is still leading the GT4 class, and Michael hasn't pitted. He's going to get disqualified. So Michael's in 2nd place but hasn't pitted. He's going to get disqualified at this rate. Anyway, as we're coming up, there's only a few corners left, but we're in the quick stuff. We don't want any lift off oversteer, and that's Crazies in front. Little dab of the brakes. Crazies thinks, nope, I'm out of the way, boys. No thank you, I don't want any part in that. Again, showing his awareness and situational awareness. We've got 2 corners to go. Is Ponyfeeder going to hold on? You don't want to be running too wide in there. AMS has carried some good speed through there. He's just got to get that turned in. We've got a straight sprint for the finish. Look at this, guys. It's like 1.5 tenths between them. Blimey, well done, boys. Fantastic race. Great work, Ponyfeeder. Congratulations. Well done to you. AMS, what a drive. And Mr. Milden. Doesn't matter if you bottled it in qualifying, mate. Doesn't matter if you're not liking that Merc or the combination. Consistency. I said it earlier on. Yeah, give me some donuts, mate. Give me some donuts. Well done. 3rd place for you. Ben Gallagher, well done, 4th place. And then Daz Parker, well, Daz, you should be really happy, mate. As long as you keep that together, you're going to get 5th place. Might not have been 5th place had Shez not disconnected, but that's immaterial now. That's a great drive to be there. Romario is in 6th, but has a drive-through, so that's probably going to affect him. Venom finishes 7th, well done. Ash actually got back up the grid, so a decent recovery drive. He finished 8th. King of the Hills 9th. Well done, King of the Hills. Top 10 finish. Good consistency there. Drew the Great finished in 10th. And Kino just, well, they're still going. So they're still going. Nah, that's not going to happen. So Kino looks like he's going to bring it home in 11th place. Not certainly what he wanted. However, points. Team points. Really, really important. Yeah. So good. I'd say good maturity there. I'm not rage quitting after that incident. Shigs finishes 12th, well done. Crazies finishes in P1 for the GT4 class. Michael finished P2, but he's got, as you can see, 130-second penalty. He did not complete his pit stop. So I really want to know what happened there, Michael. I really want to know what happened. 2 shots finished 15th, Pokley 16th, Cascanova 17th. And obviously that is going to rejig, as you can see, it has rejigged where Michael's finished in class. So he's actually finished 4th in class at the moment. It's not going to help. There's 1 race left of the championship. So Cascanova, congratulations, finishes 2nd in the GT4s. Marty Road Racing 3rd in the GT4s. Law finished 18th overall, had a bit of a nightmare, a couple of penalties on the bounce. Michael's obviously there. SJ Disco 5th in class. Stereo Tippy. Wow, you know what, mate? First race with us, few lucky there. You weren't lucky. Someone messed the checking up. Is that what happened, was it? Penalties will be removed. Okay. Okay, well, we'll see. We'll see what happens afterwards. Palermonge 22nd. Steph finished 23rd. And I finished 24th. I wonder if I get any points. I think I should get some points for doing this. By the way, if any of the admin are listening, or if any of you guys watch this back, which I'm sure you will, when we have the podcast on a Tuesday, I know we give out Alien of the Week, but, you know, no one mentions that I sit here for hours and hours and hours for months. That's what I'm saying. You know? But anyway, congratulations, guys. Fantastic race again. I love Mixed Mondays. I love the jeopardy of the 2 classes of cars together. Congratulations to the podium on both. Some brilliant driving tonight. Some unlucky issues, some disconnections that's affected people. And obviously, I'm reading on the live chat that there's been some issues there with how the server was set up, so that some penalties will be removed. So we'll see how that affects the finishing grid and points. So I'm going to jump over to Discord now and obviously get involved with all of that and see what's happening. So thanks to everyone that's watched. I hope you enjoyed yourselves. Thanks to everyone that has liked. There's obviously mean a lot to me. If you haven't liked, please do. It takes half a second. And thanks to the new sub from a couple of people. I appreciate that. That's it for this week. Next week is the final round, remember, of this Mixed Mondays. And it is at the Nurbs. So that's going to promote plenty plenty of great racing. Imagine coming up to the Schumacher S's when they're in traffic. Brilliant. So I'm looking forward to that next Monday. You can catch me tomorrow. I'm back for Taco Tuesdays on the PS5 Tier 1. And then you can catch me on Friday on the PC for comms on the FRL. So I'll see you all for now. Thanks for watching. Comms by Coops. Out.